Okay, so it's towards the end of the week. The last time I did a video was the 25th. It was the start of the week, the new week, and then we actually had the 9 on the 25th, and then we had started this new candle. So let's see, right when the new week started, we want to be at, what is it, UTC? It's let me just go to. Sometimes I forget exactly where we're at. So right here, this initial green candle, this one. Okay, so 1900 hours. All right. Okay, so yeah, we had hit a bottom with a 9 with the TD sequential 9, and then we looks like we opened up with a very strong candle to start the week. And then we kind of found support, and then we started trending down. The daily did look good, so we have the 9, and then we have 1 to 4 candle correction usually, and then it can either continue the upwards momentum or we could start to go down. And what wasn't good, like, I mean, it's not that it wasn't good, but that what wasn't ideal was that this candle right here is a reversal candle, this 3, and then today we're showing some more weakness, and then we're actually closing below the low of this wick and of 2 days ago. So could this be 1 to 4 candle correction, then we continue down? Could be. The price action today was it was better during the day. We were as high as 55,000, and then we came down. What I saw kind of midday was that we started to get weakness in the CMF. So this is moving basically with price on the 4 hour right here. So we got an area of some consolidation, and that kind of started on the 26th. So and then we're moving on. We're here. This is definitely obviously resistance right at this 9. And then we started to fade out, and then we really started to fade out. What was that? Is that today, the 29th? Yeah, so today, earlier today, early, and then you can see the CMF. There wasn't any support here, and then on the daily, I think, yeah, we pretty much, I mean, we had already gone below the 30 MA on the hourly. The 4 hour showed some weakness. We broke below it. The CMF again is still not showing any strength. I mean, on the hourly, it kind of is. Or here, that's a bullish divergence, flat price. We can look at the on-balance volume. I actually haven't looked at a lot of these indicators. On-balance volume is pretty boring. Uh, it's going down. This needs to start trending up or showing some sort of divergence with price. Right now, we're getting a bullish hidden divergence here on this OBV right here. So that could indicate a continuation once we have some. I mean, we're really not getting a bounce, but that could indicate like a that we're having this pullback, and then we can get price continue up. But I mean, the CMF really needs to start showing some strength, and it's really not. I mean, there is a little bit of turning, but there isn't the same characteristic on the on balance volume as there is. Uh, there isn't the same characteristic on the CMF as there is on the on balance volume. We don't have this bullish hidden divergence that indicates that we could have this is just a little pullback, and we're could possibly you know the trend could turn, and we could be going back up. So let's what else do I want to look at? I want to look at so let's look at the funding rate, because that's actually looks good. We got a reset on the funding rate. It's now negative. There was a big negative spike here. If you could have got that bounce, that would have been nice. So here, yeah, we're starting to go. So the market is starting to get net short. We could have maybe 1 to 2 days of downside, and then we could go back up. I mean, that is what kind of is indicated on the CMF. On the weekly, we're kind of just flat. It's not negative yet. So that's a plus. As far as the moving averages go, they don't look the greatest in the world. And in fact, you would actually be out of your position by right around 25% if you were trading this. what was really a downer was the weekly close here. You had price below the three, the short term, the intermediate term, and then you also had this where the drop was so aggressive that you went below um, this the short term turned around so quickly that it went below the intermediate. So that indicates an aggressive price move, independent of if this is Bitcoin or not. So I'm trying to look for my price ranges. Why can't I ever find them? To this one here. So what's our pullback so far? 27%. I think I have this hidden. So what we're really looking for, if you wanted to re-enter safe, I mean, we've kind of been in this range, to be honest, between I'm going to say between 50 and 60,000 since since February. So, how many weeks? So for almost 12 weeks, which is a good. It's a good bit. It's a good amount. It's a good bit of time. But for Bitcoin, in an area where we run up and we consolidate, it's actually pretty good, given the expectation that this is not the end of the cycle. I know our hash ribbon had went. It had signaled a capitulation, and it's not back in the area for a buy yet, but that should be coming soon because we did have that big drop in hash rate, and now that's recovering. So that should give a signal soon within the next, probably, I think within the next 2 or 3 days, something like that. So yeah, I mean that's all. I think I really want to go over. We're kind of just in this boring area of consolidation. We had that big drop, which should be enough to, which has been enough to kind of reset everything. But we still got to be mindful because, I mean, this is still possible here, this 47, 46. And if it doesn't hold, we don't get good volume or good, show, buying, large aggressive buying support at 45, say we, because this is the low of this, basically this consolidation area is 43. So if we don't see another large support here, if price does intend to go down, which would be uncharacteristic of a bull cycle, I would say that a lot of historical price action indicators are going to fail because that would indicate that we're going to go in this lower area, 40,000, 38,000, and potentially lower, which would be very, very odd. But I mean, if that were to happen, you would see people drawing this as a head and shoulders with a target. Let's see. You would have head and shoulders being drawn for sure. People, there's already people claiming that this is the start of the bear cycle, which is very odd. But they'd be $30,000 price targets, and then the full target would be somewhere around. The breakdown here would be somewhere around. Oh man, looks like I'm pretty much all the way back to 20, the previous all-time high. Yeah, like 25. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll be mindful of it. But right now, again, I think we're still just consolidating like we've been really. I mean, we've had new all-time highs, but we're not finding an area of really a breakout. And I can put a consolidation area. I know I had one between 50 and 60,000. Did I? Let's see. I had one here, but that one obviously wasn't valid. Nope. Maybe I might have deleted it. So yeah, I think we're just consolidating. I'll just add one. And it's something I had been talking about. I'd been saying, "Oh, I want to consolidate. I want to consolidate," and I do, and I did, and I'm glad we did. And I'm glad we. I mean, everyone loves for price to go up, but you need areas of consolidation. Where did I say? Did I say the weekly? So we can, you need those areas of consolidation so that you can. It's really between 45, so that you can start to form price areas that have large volume and support. So right here. It's really between, what is that, 45 and 60. That's a big price range, but that's what we're getting. So we're getting fluctuations of like plus or minus 10% from the center. So we'll see. The breakout here would be, phenomenal if this is indeed a channel. All the way to 75,000, and it's a little bit above our Fibonacci, but it's here. You'd probably want to redraw this. No, you don't have to. You could use this from the previous cycle. So that's about it for Bitcoin. A lot of boringness, and what you can really see as far as whenever Bitcoin goes sideways, the alts usually trade and move, right? So Ethereum's been hitting all-time highs past couple of days, and you can see here in the Bitcoin dominance that Bitcoin year to date was as high as 71%. We're now as low as 48%. I didn't realize it was that low. Wow. As far as dominance goes, what does it say at the top? It says it at the top. Yeah, 48.3, 15%. And where Ethereum, has it gone up? Let me hide all these. Yeah, so it's pretty much, it hasn't increased that much. 10%. I mean, grab 5% of the market share, but if you go to other here, it's probably much more aggressive. Oh, it really isn't. 18%, 10%, so 8. Yeah, so 13%, something like that. But, Bitcoin usually, whenever it trades sideways, let me change this to dark. It's whenever the alts start to move. So I know Ethereum had started hitting all-time highs. Let's look at it. I haven't looked at this chart in a while. Yeah, so man, it hit a all-time high of 2,800 exactly on Coinbase. There's some levels. The retest. I mean, it broke the previous high, which was a 9. Didn't come back and retest this. There's probably some here on the weekly. There's one here. Yeah, there's one here. So that could be a possible retest whenever the bear market comes back. Let me mark it here. That would be, so the weekly, make that just like a deep red. I'll look at it on the daily real quick. I like the other one because it's not as busy. That one got retested. This one got retested. Did this one get retested? Oh, that's passed on. Previous all-time high. This is at 400 or 600, so. Yeah, this is the break. What was the previous all-time high? 1419. This is essentially the breakout level from the previous all-time high. So yeah, I mean, let's see, the RSI is probably not too bad oversold on the daily. No. Weekly, it probably is excessive. Yeah, well, it's starting to go back up, so. But you're getting this divergence, so. But Bitcoin could go up and start to take some of the market cap, but based on TD sequential, you have 3 more weeks of upside, where Bitcoin has reset. Yep, so we'll see how that goes. I did want to mention gold, because gold did move, and there is some, volatility in it. This is a reversal candle, so you got to be mindful. Looks like we're getting resistance on the previous breakdown, even though we didn't get a full target on this breakdown channel. We're definitely getting resistance there. So we'll see. I think once the week closes above 1,800, you'll probably get, a run up. Where that's going to be right now, I'm not sure, but I would say I'd be bullish back to the previous all-time highs or close to that once you break above 1,800 on the weekly. And then what else? I know oil's actually starting to move again. It's starting to get back to this trend line here. I thought it would pull back a little bit more. It didn't. We did retest the daily 9 again. It looks like we're bouncing off of that. I think, does this have a CMF? CMF, definitely, yeah. So I'm looking, I pulled that up because there's obviously strength here where you have flat price, and then your CMF going up, indicating that there's more buyers coming in. Man, if this historical trend line breaks, that would be impressive. But I think we're still just going to get some. It could wick above it, but I still think we're going to go back down to this. So I'm just watching that. And then the last thing was Tlry actually started to move. And if you would have watched it on the hourly, even though it was a little frustrating the past couple of weeks, but we used that hourly 30 MA trading strategy, you'd actually be in it. And I think you'd be, I'm not going to say you'd be extremely profitable, but you would be in a good trade. So right here, you would have got in. It would have bounced off of it here. It did close below it here, looks like today. But I weighed a candle to confirm that that is a breakdown, but it didn't because the next candle went back up. So if you would have taken that position based on here, and if you could have even waited a candle here, so say you got in at the worst time here, you would be up 7%. It's not a huge return, but it is a nice return since the 23rd, which was so what, 6 days, about a week, and it looks like there's actually some good strength in it, even though so it went, it did go overbought on the hourly, and then it had some fade today. It actually pulled back. It opened, looks like almost 6% down, and it went, I think 7 or almost 8% down on the day. But what you saw here was support at the 30 MA, support at the 30 MA, and it's going back up. And I think on the 4-hour, you hit a 9, but we're getting consolidation on this around this 9. And if our CMF is trending up, which I think it is, yeah. So this looks like a breakout setup to me. It looks like we're going to consolidate around this 9. So you have these wicks right here, these upper wicks at 1842, 1848. This one's at 1853, and you had a close here on the 9 above that, and then this other candle, but we were oversold or overbought on the short term. We had the pullback, price recovered, and then again closed above this previous resistance area where you had these wicks and these large amounts of sellers with the CMF going up. So this indicates to me, and yeah, the post market price is down, but this indicates to me that we're actually getting more buyers than sellers, and that as soon as we get a green candle closing above a prior green candle above this 9, that this area right here, this $21 area, 21.10, 21.56, is likely that we're going to go to that. See, our CMF is trending up. On the weekly, I don't think it's quite as aggressive, but it is starting to turn because the drop was rather large. This is a reversal candle. This looks good. We did cover this little gap here, but I think we're probably going to return to this 21 area. A couple other things support that as well, I believe. On balance volume, it's kind of flat. You would like to see this trending up. Let's see, 4-hour, it's starting to trend up. Hourly, it's breaking out. So it's getting higher than the previous high, which is actually good. So it looks like short-term technical analysis is starting to turn into mid-term bullishness, and then hopefully a little bit long-term to a couple of weeks, because this has been rather ruthless. I did have some targets here lower at 13 that would have been maybe ideal for the buy the dip, but it didn't actually get there. It found support at the 30-week moving average, which is oddly where this 9 was too, on an exhaustion point bounce. So it looks like buyers like to come in here around $15. This went to 15, 17, but so, and this Fibonacci also supported the price as well from the previous, or from this dip right here. I think this is probably drawn on the daily. Yeah, it is. So from the what was the high back in February, drawn on the daily, it's finding support here. We wicked below it, but it found support. So next 21, and then if we can get past this area, we're probably going to go to 26, and maybe once we clear this out, this is where all the speculators came in to try to buy this pump. Some did, sold it off, but you would really see new buyers coming in and a lot more bullishness around $30. So there's a good 50% move, potentially with some consolidation, potential pullback, and then higher. And again, this market is still young. I know the bill's slowly moving its way to the Senate, might be getting restructured. So, but You could start to see these moving averages starting to turn up, and I would think that the 30 and the would start to cross the 8 within the next maybe month or two, given what price is going to do, and then the re-entry would probably be above somewhere in the 23, 24 area to to ride out to the potential 30 to see if it breaks out higher. Because I mean, in agreement, look at these moves: 74%, 42%, and then this was a large move, but it didn't hold. So that's probably because all these people that bought back here exited their break even, and the volumes probably matched relatively well. No, they didn't. Wow, the volumes here were so much greater, but yeah. So I would say my assumption was that people who bought here sold here, but the volumes were never not even close. So probably a lot of the people who sold bought in these lower levels. They made a killing, and even maybe the last couple of weeks here where they came in right before this big jump and they finally sold a couple weeks later, 4 to 5 weeks later. That's probably when the majority of the sellers came. Were all right here between the end of the year and the beginning of the year, and then they sold in February because there's just not enough volume to support this larger wick. You can see the volume came in really here, that last part of 2020 and the first month of 2021, and then they sold off the month after once it ran up. So yeah, those people made a lot. I would say let's just measure this movement, not that one, maybe this one right here. So even if they waited, they 2-3x their returns potentially, probably more. That's impressive. So new buyers will come in above 30. And then we'll see where this market goes. But the potential is very, very high, especially with regulation letting up. So, but appreciate it, and thanks for watching.